Hello, and welcome to another edition of Barca Fan Voice. It's a very sad day, I'm afraid, and a very worrying time in general. Of course, I'm said before, I'm no expert in the coronavirus. I can only give you updates that, in Spain we've now had 3,000 cases with a total of 84 deaths. In Catalonia, there have now been 319 cases. And 4 towns have been put on lockdown in Catalonia, Igualada and 4 towns near there, because there was a spike in that area. So 70,000 people have now been put on lockdown. I can tell you that in Barcelona the situation is quite normal, but in the supermarkets you can begin to see I wouldn't call it panic buying. I haven't seen anybody fighting, but people are certainly buying more than they normally would and preparing for what may be a difficult couple of weeks or more. We'll have to see. But as I said, this is a channel about Football Club Barcelona, so I feel duty bound to talking about the effects of all of this for Barca and for La Liga and for football in general. So, this week we've had La Liga suspended. Today I believe that UEFA have decided to cancel or to suspend the Champions League and the Europa League. So football is basically on hold. Now we'll have to see. In Spain they've suspended it for 2 weeks at least. Now they had a meeting this week and they discussed the economic effects, that the league would lose 678 million euros if it was cancelled now. Obviously the money is not the most important thing, but you can imagine these people have money, they've got their interests, so we'll have to see what happens. There was talk last night on Cope. I don't know if there's any truth to it, but they said that the league are guaranteed that the season will end even if it's behind closed doors. Now, we talked about football behind closed doors. It's not an ideal solution at all, really, because football without the fans loses so much. It loses everything, really. Obviously, if the league is cancelled, they've got to decide on who is champion and who gets relegated and who gets promoted, who goes into Europe next season. We could say, well, Barca will be champion because they're top. Would you be happy about that? Would you celebrate? Or would it just feel like a rather emotionless thing? I don't know. I can't really imagine it. I can't imagine celebrating it, going to Canaletas to dance on the Ramblas. But we'll see. It's going to be complicated. If they have to decide this in an office, there'll be lawyers, there'll be people arguing that even though their team is 4th, they were going to finish 3rd, and the people will argue that their games were easy, that they had the remaining games were easier than the other teams. So it may get very complicated. Of course, I should talk about the effects on the channel, which is not the biggest deal, a little channel on YouTube. I set up 3 weeks ago. I was planning to talk about, all the football, the match previews, match reports, and now I may have to revert to some plans I was having for the summer, which of course the summer will all be about transfers and who we're going to sign and the rumours, who we should sell, etc., etc. But I was also planning to do some kind of historical stories, to talk about some past matches, some players from the past. I've been here for 31 years now, since 1989. So any game in that period, any player in that period, I'd like to talk about them. If there's any player that you'd like me to talk about, or any game that you'd like me to talk about, could be good or bad, of course, let me know. Send me a comment in the comment section, or you could send me a message through Twitter @Nick Oldham, or you could send me, or you could use the hashtag Barca Fan Voice on Twitter, or you could send me an email at barcafanvoice@gmail.com, barcafanvoice@gmail.com, and tell me the player or the game that you'd like me to talk about. And that's what I'll be doing in the next couple of weeks to try and keep things interesting. So, if you like what I'm doing, you give the video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to the channel, which would be great. It really gives me a lift when I get a new subscriber. I know it's still very small. I think we're 30 subscribers now, but in 3 weeks, not bad. Hopefully it will keep growing and growing and growing. So I'll be back on Monday, and I'll be keeping up with any of the news that's going on around the coronavirus and any other news around Barca, of course. And I'll be hopefully preparing something historical to talk about. So until then, look after yourselves, look after each other, stay positive, keep smiling. We can get through this, and I'll be back on Monday with another edition of Barca Fan Voice. So until then, Biscal Barca. Bye for now.